Okay, today we are playing a game on Hollywood. We will be playing Zarya on defense and Tracer on attack, and this was a competitive game, but we were unranked at the time, so who knows what the SR is up to. We are also on the console today, by the way, if that matters to you at all. It looks like the Xbox, based on the hieroglyphics on display. I actually remembered to say it for once, what a day. Our current team composition is Winston, Zarya, Symmetra, Soldier, Mercy, and Zenyatta. Also worth noting that this game was from earlier in the season, so this is actually old Mercy that's walking around. Don't worry, as you can see, the game's not terribly long, so it doesn't become too much of an issue. So if they have a dive comp, we'll be pretty upset about that one, because we have no one on our team that particularly likes to get dove on, and basically no recourse to stop it. That doesn't happen, so it doesn't ever really become an issue. So let's start the game. Defending first as Zarya, the entire way through. It's not a very long game. We are standing pretty far up. Hard to get punished for this as Zarya. We come up to try and get a little bit of charge off our shield. Worth remembering that Winston's just used his bubble as well, so we have to go a bit further forward if we want to do that, which is not necessarily recommended either, though. And so it doesn't really work out very well for them. Most of them are already dead. Reaper is not allowed to do this, and Reaper's gonna die for that. It's gonna be that kind of game. Just, you know, I'm gonna warn you now that you're probably not gonna get as much advice out of this game as you were hoping for, because it's a stomp that we win. So there's not necessarily too terribly much to say about it. I'd recommend sending in, like, another game that's maybe a bit closer, because that'll be a little bit better. There's more to say on the Tracer side than the Zarya side. So, we see Reaper coming right at us, right here. Well, he's coming right at the supports, more specifically, because they're standing next to us. If you got your bubble, don't be afraid to just, like, get in the dude's line of sight, like, try and block with your body, because he's not gonna kill you that quickly if you've got your bubble, whereas he might kill the Mercy quite quickly. And she did drop kinda low during that, but it wasn't an issue. Reinhardt's over here, by the way. He shouldn't really be, and he gets away with it. No, he doesn't actually get away with it. He almost got away with it, which is more than he deserved, so it's okay, there's some justice in the world. The enemy team doesn't really know how to deal with the Symmetra, as we'll see in the play of the game at the end of the game. It was quite tragic. So we're really feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. We are really fucking feeling it now. We shouldn't be doing this, as I'm sure it will come of no surprise to anyone, but we shouldn't be at their spawn as Zarya, really. We don't even have that much charge. We don't have that much charge over this entire game. Well, round, because we're not playing Zarya the entire game. Just kind of a general thing for Zarya is, if you're low charge, you want to get high charge as quickly as possible, because kind of based around that. Attack Visor's happening now, but Transcendence completely stops it. You want to get to high charge as quickly as possible. Hold that thought. Jet, this tends to just help immediately with Zarya. What most Zarya players do is they try to use their bubbles predictively, where they're like, oh, this soldier's walking out, so he's probably going to take damage, so I put the bubble on him now. What tends to happen is then the soldier just doesn't get shot, because it's easy, if nobody's started shooting yet, it's easy to go, oh, the bubble, well, I'll just wait a second, alright, now I'll shoot. If you wait until somebody is taking damage first, and then put the bubble on them, then you're gonna get at least some charge off of it, because the person is not gonna react the frame you put the bubble on them. They're still gonna shoot it at least a little bit. But it's also harder to stop yourself from shooting once you've begun, generally, so and I'm not saying you have to wait till, like, you or the other person are half HP first, but generally just waiting until somebody has started taking damage before you use the bubble will get you more charge. Because humans don't react instantaneously, oddly enough. So, we just come up and dump the bubble, the graviton right in their face. Kinda scary, because Diva's standing right on top of us, but she didn't actually block it. We didn't actually catch that many of them, but we caught enough of them, so it all works out in the end. We're starting to feel it again. Don't know what Soldier's plan was, but I mean, it looked like he had one, so. Don't know what Genji's plan is either, but, you know, he looked like he had one. Yeah. It's not a very close game, as I'm sure you can tell. it doesn't exactly... I think you've gotten the gist of how it's going to go so far. The Tracer round is, of course, very short, because spoilers, they don't even get the first tick on the point. So, yeah, you know... So they're trying to sort of slip past us right now, but I mean... They're just kind of coming in one by one in practice, so it doesn't actually get them anywhere. Like, oh look, everybody's dead, then Reinhardt appeared. Well, it was like, everybody's dead, Diva comes in, everybody's dead, Reinhardt comes in. The tire didn't even kill anybody, so... You know, it's the kind of game where it feels like you're always on the other side, right? You know? Yeah. There's not too terribly much to say about it, in all honesty. Because the enemy team never really get their shit together. It's worth watching just for the attacking round, though, because the attacking round has something pretty magical happen on it, honestly. So, like, yeah, we kill everyone. It's not... We probably didn't even have to ult the time that we did ult, because, like... Yeah, you know. So, let's just skip ahead a bit. So, this round gets really awkward really quickly. We have, of course, gone through a very sudden, hero shift for this one, from Zarya to Tracer. It gets really awkward real fast, because they have a Torbjorn, and he's on the elevator. This is very difficult for us, because you kind of have to acknowledge the I don't really like when Tracers go this way around, because it just takes you a really long time to get there. But then you have to go through the main choke point anyway, which is kind of scary to do as a flanker like Tracer, so like, I'm not a big fan of coming around this way. So we get through. So they have a Torbjorn, and he's on the elevator, right? We have to acknowledge this as Tracer. That's a bit of an overreaction with the recall, because you could just blink backwards and get out of the way, really, but... So we have to acknowledge that, because we can't just ignore it as Tracer, because we don't have enough HP to ignore it. But it's in a place that we can't really get to very easily, so we do this. We have excellent self-control here, like, look at that, just, no, and then it gets to the bottom, and it's not even there anymore. Now we're gonna come all the way up, get a little shot in at Junkrat, and then this, honestly, this story doesn't have a very happy ending. Oh, God. So, like, there's no particularly good answer on what to do in this situation, because you can't ignore the turret as Tracer, but it's also in a position that doesn't give you the leeway to like, play around it with line of sight. Fortunately, Torbjorn moves it to a much less inconvenient location for us, because he moves it onto the patio, in the balcony, in the diner. So, makes it a little bit easier for us. And... we get into some very awkward scuffles. It's very awkward for us in general, because it's a bunch of people Tracer isn't very good at killing. Because they have Junkrat, Torbjorn, and Symmetra. It generally makes it really difficult for us to do very much. Honestly, like, not even joking, this is the kind of team comp where you play Tracer and you look at it, and you just go back into the spawn and change, honestly, because... the chances of you actually getting to do anything significant as Tracer versus this team is quite low. And indeed, we never actually do anything particularly significant against this team, because we didn't have to. Now let's watch the play of the game. It was really sad, and kind of just sums up the whole game really nice right at the end. Symmetra got it, as will come as no great surprise, seeing as I kind of spoiled that. Watch this one, though. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, shit. Oh, baby! I wonder if the baby diva made it. I wonder if she got away with that one. So, there's not much to say about it, because it was a stomp that we won, and, like, they never got any kind of momentum going at all on attack or defense, so it makes it even worse. So there's not that much to say. Just like the thing that we already said about Zarya, because we don't really do a very good job of building high charge, but at the same time, fucking hell, did you see what they were doing? You know? So, there's like that. If you're playing Tracer and you look at the enemy team and you see a bunch of people that are just like zoning heroes, it's gonna make it hard for you as Tracer, so you're better off changing to something else, but more or less anything else, because realistically versus that comp, if they did even a little bit better, we would have done basically nothing for our team, because we weren't very good at killing any of those heroes. Well, I mean, we could kill, like, the supports and stuff, but, like, the other 3 heroes are gonna make it so difficult for us that it's just not really realistic. So, yeah, there's not very much to say about it, honestly. It's one of those kinds of games. I would, recommend sending in another game. I'm not just gonna tell you to fuck off, like, no, you already got one. Get out of here. Like, send in another one, it's fine. Just try, like, maybe one that's a little bit closer, because generally stomps that you win are hard to get very much out of anyway, but this is a stomp that we really fucking won as well, so I don't really have very much else to say. If you have any, like, general questions, you can ask and I'll answer, but, like, from the game specifically, there's not overly much to say. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer, and I hope you got something out of the video.